Hi folks, welcome to day 13. 13. Lucky or unlucky? Well, it's a pretty miserable day here in Macroom. I'm in the town at the moment and it's drizzly rain, low cloud covering the whole town. It's pretty miserable. However, I'm still smiling. We were full last night with the B&B. We're full tonight with the B&B. So that's good. Let's just jump into today's vlog. So what I want to talk about today is something that's been in the news a lot over the last few weeks. And in fact is back in the news today. Well, yesterday is New Year's Day. And that is drones. If you watched any of my previous videos, and especially if you watched yesterday's video, you would know that I am a drone pilot. So you'll probably be thinking that I have a vested interest, so I'm biased. Well, I'm going to try and be very dispassionate about this and discuss both sides of the argument, both from the point of view of regulation and the point of view of the drone hobby, let's say. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that there's been a huge amount of hype in the media about drones, and 99% of it is just that, hype, with no proof, no evidence, nothing. The Gatwick drone episode was a good case in point. There's been no proof, there's been no photographs, there's been no video, there's been no drones found, the police having discounted the 2 drones that were found near the airport. It's ridiculous that the drone community has been tarred with this brush. Now, let's just look a little bit at the Gatwick incident. First of all, the police have said that the drone was a commercial sized drone. Now, this is a fairly large drone, and yes, I guess such a drone could cause damage, serious damage to an aeroplane. But the majority of drones that we talk about are consumer drones, and generally speaking they're around about the 1 kilo or even less mark, and there's very little metal in them, and the damage that they would cause in a collision with an aircraft of any sort is likely to be relatively small. However, that's not the issue, because drones should not come into commercial airspace. That is a given. And the majority of drone owners do follow the rules. The rules being that you fly below 120 meters or 400 feet. The controlled airspace is above 500 feet. Therefore, there is a 100-foot margin between where we fly and where commercial aircraft fly. And this is a good, sensible safety measure. And it should be applied the world over. There are still some countries who do not put this limit, and there are some countries who put a much lower limit, which really is not justified, Canada being one such. And in America, their rules seem to be very strange, because if you're a hobbyist, there don't seem to be many restrictions at all. You're merely expected to fly safely. Well, that's all well and good. We should all fly safely. There's no question about that. But let's look at the Gatwick incident, and also an incident that was reported to have happened yesterday in New Zealand, where a police helicopter reported that a drone came within 10 meters or 5 meters, depending upon which person you listen to, of the helicopter at 1,400 feet above ground level. Oh yes, 1,400 feet above ground. That's illegal. So the owner of that drone should be prosecuted. Definitely. It was unsafe. It cannot possibly be within direct line of sight. It was flying at night. That's illegal too, without special permission. So there were so many things about that that were illegal. Now, would any regulations have prevented that drone owner, if the drone did indeed exist, would it have stopped him or her flying? I suggest not. The regulations already exist to limit drone flights to 400 feet above ground level, 120 meters. So the person who was flying, if this was a drone, then it was flying illegally anyway. So where are we? Well, with the Gatwick incident, would tighter regulation have prevented the Gatwick incident if indeed there was a drone? Was not proven, but anyway, let's assume that it was. Would it have stopped the Gatwick incident? Well, would it? Of course not. If a person is out to create chaos like that, they don't care about laws and regulations. It's like saying that we should ban all cars because cars can kill people. Well, actually, cars don't kill people. It's people that kill people, using the car as the weapon. So in the same way, a drone could be used to kill somebody by accident or by design. So therefore we should ban all drones. It's equally illogical. You know, any form of transportation can cause death or injury. So all this hype in the media about, oh, we've got to regulate drones, we've got to kill them, do you know what it all is? It's, in my humble opinion, it's a conspiracy of big business who want to get drones out of the below 400 feet airspace, because commercial drones, people like Amazon and DHL and other delivery, they want to use this airspace, and if we non-commercial users are flying in that space, it's going to be much more difficult for them. Now, there is a way around this, and it's something which I believe should happen, that in the future all new drones should be equipped with some sort of transponder, so that if a drone is operating illegally, it can be traced and the owner can be traced and prosecuted. In addition, it will be a lot safer because other drones or other unmanned vehicles can be equipped to avoid a collision automatically. Already the modern drones, the modern DJI drones, which are the majority of the market, they all have active collision avoidance. The technology is there, it's very cheap, it's not expensive to put in. I believe that it is quite reasonable to ask drone owners to register their drones if they are above a certain weight or above a certain capability. We should take responsibility for our actions, and in the same way that cars are regulated, so drones should be regulated. So I'm happy with that. I didn't have to register my drone. It's below the 1 kilo limit that we have in Ireland. I did voluntarily because I didn't want to have silly restrictions put upon me, and I'm quite happy to abide by the rules. So that's the first thing. So if we have registration and we have transponders which can be linked to the registration, then something like the Gatwick incident couldn't happen. Well, it couldn't happen unless somebody hacked their drone to avoid being found out. And of course, people are going to do that, but they're not the majority of drone users. The majority of drone users are responsible. Now, should we be made to take a test? Possibly. I believe the UK now has or is going to have a simple test to make sure that the drone operator does understand the safety rules and regulations. Well, I think that makes sense. The drones can be dangerous, and the operator should be able to prove that they know what they're doing when they're flying. Well, I think that's enough. I do believe that both the Gatwick incident and the New Zealand incident were not drones, but I can't prove it, in the same way that it appears the authorities can't prove that there was a drone. Unfortunately, there will be incidents in the future in which drones are the cause and are genuinely the reason for something bad happening. It's inevitable, but in all the time, with all the millions of drones there are all over the world, there has not been one case of somebody dying as a result of drones. But in that time, there have been thousands upon thousands of deaths by car, by aircraft crashes, and by other mechanical means. For example, guns, and well, you can carry on like this forever. But not one single drone caused death. So does that put it into perspective? I think what puts it possibly more in perspective is there are far more drones in the air than there are commercial or private aircraft. That's a fact. You can look it up. So there we are. That's where I'm going to end today. I hope you enjoyed this little rant and that you are a little bit more informed. Please give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, ring that little bell which is down there, and do please comment. Let me hear your views. I want to hear what you think about drones and about regulation and about the press and the press's attitude towards unmanned aerial vehicles. Gosh, that's difficult to say. UAVs, otherwise known as quadcopters or multi-rotors. Okay, I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.